Hello, this is Divine Sunshine, and this is the Playground Experience. I got here with my co-host, April Williams.
Aloha. Is that the one? Uh,
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you good on that one.
Perfect.
We see we belong to the headphones or pod phones or whatever the hell club. Because last time I heard, I was like, I got this sucker all the way on 50. I can't hear a damn thing I say. Then you and Kathy D talking. I said, oh Jesus, okay, I can hear. I got to put it all the way back down. So I don't know. This is an interesting, deadly thing for me here headphones because my volume is always on 50 without headphones. But that's why it's like, why you can't hear me on this? This is really freaky Friday. Why you can't even hear me? That's really impossible. All right then. So this is the Lions Gate where we are paying attention to the Lions Gate and looking at these energies. I know I had a lot, but you know what? Guess what? Although she's looking at something, but I'm about to throw her right on underneath this bus because I am not a Leo. But we could talk to our own Leo expert to talk about what is it to be a Leo and how does those energies should we be resonating as far as we going into Leo season and this being the Lion's Gate.
Well, I'm so glad that you've asked. Being a lion is no joke. It's actually a very interesting experience, right? Because people want to say that Leo is all about show and they want to be the center of stuff and they're very dramatic. And it's like, no, drama just happens around Leo, and Leo just calmly sits there and monitors the situation. It always gets somehow kind of extreme because our hearts are so big. I mean,
Okay.
depending. There are
Oh,
different levels of Leo, right?
okay.
But right now, um, the Lion's Gate specifically is a portal to open up the heart in terms of, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Am I heard good? Am I heard good? Anyway, we've all been at a state of being extremely vulnerable, letting our inner child come out. Um, I know that I'm kind of reconciling like childhood, I guess, issues or concerns. I feel the need for nurturing and self care. I know that there's a
Mm-hmm.
big turn on for everyone right now in terms of self reflection, bettering themselves, moving forward, and really going for those dreams and goals that they have with mm, with abandon, but also security. Right? We're all setting the stage up for it being a long term thing as opposed to just short term stuff. And with the current pressures, right, there's a lot of shifting between the light and the dark, I guess you could blatantly say. People are going
Okay.
into yes, yes, yes mode, or they're going into like fear mode. And don't get me wrong, there's a little bit of oscillation because we feel each other, we care for each other, but those of us who have anchored in our spiritual practices and are doing those things to connect with ourselves, we're able to handle this extremely high pressure time more consciously, with more love, with more genuine reciprocity, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been, it's a wild world out there. And everyone is just like, this is kind of messed up, isn't it? And we're looking in our hearts to say, yes, I hear you. Yes, I know I have wounding, but I'm not necessarily in that wounding, right? Because we're now being so pressured together that we're actually having conversations about it. As to before, we were kind of isolating and trying to stay away from really showing that true self. We're seeing a lot of people letting their guard down,
Mm-hmm. True.
people pushing past their fears and being brave, like the brave lion. It's like the not so cowardly lion, right? Like they
Right, right.
attempted, they made a little fumble, they made it like somehow approachable, and it's been a good thing. And I think those people who are stepping in that space, a lot of people's dreams are coming true. Unless you're on the other wavelength, where a lot of things are becoming really gripey, and I'm luckily enough, I'm not actually touching this space. I'm I could just observe it right? Because I've built the network. Whatever thing you're sitting in right now, it's typically about what you've built and what stories you've told yourself and what limiting things you've allowed yourself to believe. And they typically stem from childhood, right? That's what we're going through, this cleansing and healing process. And the lion is about protecting the heart because
Mm-hmm.
that's the core of the matter. And what's beautiful is I remember when I was first starting out on my own in the world, I met this person, and I really wish I'd kept up with them, but I was like a divine feminine in the wind, a pre
Okay.
divine feminine, with trauma on her sleeve. She didn't know.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I can't hear you.
You can't?
Random. Okay.
You can't? You can't hear me? Now I can't hear you. You can't hear me? You muted. You muted. Unmute yourself. You muted. Look down at the screen. You see the mic got a slash through it. You muted.
I got it. It was
Okay.
actually some weird thing where I was trying to move my screen and then it
Okay.
pulled off the tab instead of moving the
Oh.
screen. So it's still stuck.
Okay.
Anyway, this is also part of it, right? All these little slip ups and tricky little things that are happening without getting so wrapped up in the ego about it, right? Because that's the thing. A lot of our need for comfort is showing up. A lot of our putting ourselves out in our vulnerability, and it's it's hard to tell your crush you have a crush on them, but when that crush is you, it's even harder. Like, do I still love myself after I made that mistake? Of course you do. Do I
Mm-hmm.
still love myself after I said those unkind words without thinking? Of course you do. But how quickly can you shift yourself back into that compassionate space? Woo! How are you feeling this Lionsgate? I mean, a lot of stuff is coming up for people that it could be sheer annoyances.
Right. I seen that who was that God, I don't know about to say K Moon, which has really gotten me through it, that she's like a lot of people might be acting very petty Betty. Because you see a lot of pettiness. I then ran into a lot of things trying to get things done professionally, getting things signed, paperwork and things like that. And it's just like every little thing, like beforehand, it's like, sure, that's what you need to do. Okay, here, you don't have to jump through so many hoops. But I find myself even that and even dealing with people. And so when she gave me that key to understanding that goes with the Leo energies of that drama, where drama would be the pettiness to keep on nitpicking in little things like that. Um, that I found myself running into that a lot of that kind of with people with that pettiness and learning how to with my Aries flair to say, okay, this is the time for me to learn patience. It's like, okay, but then sometimes I find myself, that's just how I am, I'm still toss back the pettiness. It's like, oh, okay, oh, we playing tennis like Venus and Serena. Bam.
I,
Bam,
I,
bam.
I want to
Right.
put this out there a little bit is again, because this is my style of Leo, right? You have from July all the way to August.
Right.
Okay. So it's not that we're petty, it's that it triggers the heart space. This is the hottest time of year. Typically, the weather is changing, everything is shifting, and the heart's getting a little bit colder and wetter, which is very interesting. I mean, if you think about it globally, but depending where you are, unfortunately, there's some fires going on right now here too.
Yeah.
So even on the Big Island, because I'm on Oahu right now, they're having some wildfire stuff going on, and there's high breezes. So people are quick to irritation. People are quick to the heart of, everybody's got, we're all in a traumatized world right now. We're cleaning
Yes.
up that trauma and learning how to process it. And because of that cleansing, everything can become even more irritating. Or
Right.
we're trying to reclaim and hold safety. So we put up all these false limitations. So paperwork gets tricky, like
Right.
all the little all the little nuances that you could trip over, you're going to do it because you're avoiding it, and you need to open up that part of your heart. It's messed
Yeah.
up. Like parental wounds are like rampant right now. Like people feeling abandoned or like they're about to be abandoned, like their tribe, their family fighting themselves. Like a lot of this is just, and then claiming that independence, right? That sovereignty. People want that independence, but we're being pressured into not being so.
Right.
And
Just
so,
go with the nut masses. Just go with the masses. You'll be okay.
and the, I mean, even in the stars, it's written that most of these children, where they have their placements in like Neptune and Pluto and all that, is wait, and how they work with Saturn is rebellion, sheer rebellion. So the fact that rebellion is being born, even if it's within the self, and if that rebellion means I'm going to make somebody's life a little bit more difficult
Right.
because I want to show my power. Unfortunately, you're seeing that too. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But that's interesting. I wouldn't even say that's even in the what I guess the human children. I see that even in my furry dogs, where it's like the generations of dogs before in, sit, boo boo, sit. That I mean, that would have been easier. But this one is like sit. Is she talking to me? Is she talking to you? No, no, no. Okay. Hey, well, we just keep on running. Sit. And and it does look like their middle name is Rebellion, Rebel. I'm like, did I name you Rebel or is your name Ebony and Ivory? But but I see that is going on. I think this is this new template or whatever that source is using it as a way to build these new generations that's coming in there. It's probably in everybody's these new generation stars, whether you're animals or humans or whatever like that. This is a new concentrated make and model that the source is playing with. That is like, no, she doesn't listen to anything. And I'm sure that they're pretty much in the kids that's coming up now. It's the same. These generations, like you say, rebel, which is really, I'm standing for a cause. I'm team me. Maybe one day I might be with you, or maybe not. I'm going for the things, the core beliefs and values that I align to. And so if we build an alliance, that's fine. If we don't, hey, cool. That's fine with me. But it seems like to me this is
they
where
do
we
not
are.
give a fuck.
No, they don't. They're like, if we align, and then afterwards they probably say, okay, I don't give two about it, because well, I thought we was. Yeah, that was for the moment. Now my cause is this. And so, I'm gonna say deuces and I'm out on that one. So I've kind of noticed, like I said, this generation is different, just like we said about the Olympics. Hey, I can't do it. I don't feel like it. Okay. All right, this has never been done in the history of Olympics. Okay, and I told you I'm tired, so accept that. Okay, now next week I'm ready to play. Oh, you ready to come back? Yeah, I want to do the balance beam now. Okay, this has never been done in the history of Olympics. Most of the time when they check out for good. But you're back now? Yeah, I want to go back on the balance beam. Okay, now look at the record books. Is that in the record book? Yes, you can come back. Oh, okay. So there, it's like I'm gonna build my own freedom, my own rules. I don't, and I see where there's openings. Guess what? I'm gonna take advantage of it. I'm not saying I don't know about what the Olympics rule, but I'm noticing, like I said, this has not been done. I've never seen that. Most time when people say they check out and they're not gonna do the Olympics anymore, they just don't do it. It's like, okay, they flew home. It's over. I've never have seen that before. But like I said, this new generation, hey, I love it. I love it that they just creating their own path and going with it. And they know truly at this point, I think within them, they understand the programming or the blueprint of their soul, and they are really kind of driving through it to understand that, hey, I'm not here to change your mind. I'm here to change yours about everything that you do, and for you to question everything you do. Why do you do that? I know even when I talk and have conversations with younger ones, they make you say, okay, why? Okay, and why? And why do you do that? And what? Why were they doing that? Oh, okay. And so you all went with that? Yeah. That doesn't make sense. Okay. And then it makes you think, you're like, yeah, you know what? That don't make sense. you know, so they make you question everything because everything you've just been going by is just by status quo. And you're like, you know what? You're right. It's not really
But
going. Yeah, go on. Hey, ethereal sources is
hey girl.
7.
So the I really honestly I've been thinking about epigenetics a lot and the and how gene expression works. And gene expression comes from what is predominant within the system. So if you have all these mothers and under pressure, feeling like things aren't working, feeling like they want something to change, feeling like they're, sick of stuff. You know what I mean? That type of those hormonal cascades, those proteins and everything that are producing that at that moment, they go into the child. So in terms of the research I've done for um, sorry, it's like when you have ADHD and you're a genius and you're like the matrix, focus one thing. So when you produce a lot of it, the genes, they are open, or they're more easy to open, and they're put with markers that says your body says produce this more often, produce this type of hormone, produce this type of
Okay, right.
um, any kind of expression. And so this stress, this wanting to be free, this whole like, I don't want to do that, or I'm not going to be like that, or I'm going to change, things need to change. These kids, those markers go into them, those markers go into the children that they're carrying, and then they say, oh, okay, well, here we are. We're all kind of children of, well, not, it's not that far back, but children of children from like the 50s and 60s, right? All of those
Mm.
people were under so much pressure, so much religious. I mean, well, it wasn't religious. Uh, it was racial strife, racial like prejudice, like things pushing out. Yes, of course they're going to express in the next generation because all of them were carrying it when they created that child, right? So that
Mm.
because how gene expression works and how it's put down through generations and not so it's not put down through your kid, right? When you were born, when you were conceived, all of your eggs were made at that time, right? And all of the sperm are created, or at least pre-created, and then once they hit puberty, they shift. Well, once we hit puberty, they unlock, and so then once you actually breed, you have a child that then has that gene expression, and then whatever external pressures come onto them. So we're carrying our ancestors' major concerns and issues, and it's rising up in us, right? It's now
Mm-hmm.
showing its head, especially in the children after them, right? Because it's not that the pressures have changed, they just got pacified, they got gaslit, right? And what happens when you get gaslit? You get mad as
Mm-hmm. Hockey stick.
exactly. Exactly. And so here we go. Here we are in this space, becoming a new generation. And so if we really want to see this change, it's happened because we've already happened. We've already bred. We've already put this out there. And so now all of us that are cultivating these peaceful mindsets, these abilities to heal our own generational curses and things like that, they shift. Um, yes, you got a text from me. I love you. And she texted back at 3:33. Light fell on my head. Ding! 3:33 ethereal
She got hit by
sources.
the she got hit by the light.
At least I wasn't blinded. Shoot, I like the way I look today. Blinded by on Venus's day. Anyway, so it's a good day to actually talk about the Lionsgate because this setting up for the Lionsgate, it's just de-shielding your heart, de-shielding all the woundings, all the generational.
Oh,
Oh
good.
yay, she's moving. We've been praying about that.
Yay!
We want you, girl. We want you in the happiest place.
Yes. All right. Yes. Okay.
She's gonna have a
Goody.
smooth, easy transitions, because that's so much abundance. This stuff is coming, people. It's the
Yes.
wind up and all of the blocking. It's been really, really interesting to see, like you're saying, the team petty squad. Now I'm gonna say it, I was petty this week too, in
Yeah,
the
I
sense that
told you. Yeah.
I finally said that. Well, it's not just Leos that are petty.
No,
Just
I
saying.
didn't say the Leos. I
Oh,
didn't say
it's the
Leos was
Leo
petty. I
energy.
say
It's
the drama. The Leo energy brings the drama, which in turns it lets everybody be okay. They go into that pettiness. I didn't say Leos was petty. You
Oh,
took
I
it there. I didn't.
misunderstood that.
That's what you
Well,
wanted to hear. I didn't take it there.
okay. Well, I mean, the pettiness, right, is also about telling the truth, because sometimes when people withhold information, that's so funny. I'm like, no, we don't bring the drama. We just understand that it happens around us. We really don't like drama. We really don't. It's just somehow it comes. It's like our shadow is so much bigger than we think it is, right? Oh, she's calling me out right now in the chat. She's calling out the Leos.
As
Where my
definitely,
Leos at? Hello.
as definitely brought the drama. I'm gonna take it there. Yeah, they do. Thank you, my Aries sister. But
No, it
keep up,
really is
please.
going off the chain right now. And I'm I'm glad that I can just watch it and then there's only certain parts that I'm part of it. But I was able to kind of call out some stuff, because when you let yourself get gaslit, right? Because a lot of this shit is gaslighting. A lot of this stuff is puff pieces and saying shit is what it isn't. And people are needing to get called out. But that also brings a meticulous getting getting really nitpicky, that devil in the
Yes.
details kind of thing right now. And it's really irritating, but it's going to make a lot of clear stuff later on. And so that's why it's double edged, right? Because we need it to kind of purge out those little tiny things, right? Or else we wouldn't be so hard on ourselves all the time. We're working on our trauma, right? Because it has to shift out through the generations, through the period that we're kind of going through. And so our working on our trauma means that our great grandchildren or our grandchildren, this generation, will be on a whole nother level of like clarity and connection with themselves. And so we've chosen to be here at this time where we're working our ass off. And every Lionsgate, it's like the opening of a new, I guess, a new Olympic Games ceremony is what it seems like.
Go
Like
with it.
how deep with this heart shit can we go?
Right. Yeah. Then they were talking about it, with the portals brings on other dimensions. And I was listening to another lady, I think her name is Melanie Beckler, and she does the angel numbers and stuff. And she was talking about, it depends on because of what's going on and opening a portal brings on a lot of light energies and dark energies as well. And so we have to choose which dimensions that we're going to go into and to take as well. It's also bring to us as far as with this Leo's Lionsgate is for us to stop some of those bad habits, like Usher says, that we keep on kind of perpetually things that we're seeing that's not working with us. So, like with me, that overthinking and me saying, "Okay, stop it." I really find myself say, "Stop it." I'm tired of it. I know that I seen. I think it was K Moon. She was talking about that. Some of us that have those over like things are overthinking, overspending, over whatever it is, it brings on our counterparts to experience addictions. And so that's how it comes out on the other end. And so my thing is for me, I know I'm tired of that over whatever it is that's happening on my end. So I've been cutting a lot of habits, a lot of things of not wanting to manifest things, but some kind of way my head goes into the negative space, head
Mm.
space. about a lot of things. And so, you know, seeing how that might be portrayed on the other end as well. And so I'm like, okay, which is into my divine masculine energies, well, in the world of how I'm portrayed to go to manifest those things. I want to make sure that we have that one accord. So that's something that I've found myself. I'm so glad to hear her say that too, as well, that I found myself this saying that's got to stop. We're finding those things, those negative things, those negative Nellies, things that's coming around, all of this stuff, period, end of it, like to say, period, is all for us to create this change, which is really go into moving into the heart space and more so getting aligned with things, the matters of the heart that truly matter to you. The way we're showing up into the world instead of that cowardly lying, you know, or putting on that false persona, being every extra flamboyant as well. Those things, everything that April said, that Leos are not, that Leo energy is not, there's always a just portrayed, people think that they are that. Those things is that we've got to deal with our persona of how we do in the ego, what we do to push ourselves out there in the world. How do we curtail that to say, okay, you know what, let me, like in the Wiz, unzip this ugly costume of this person, this flamboyant, and then come up, ta-da! This is not divine sunshine. This is Bertina. This is the real me. So this is what the Lionsgate energies is doing to us now. Is just like, really, let's move into it. So if, like she said, the little pettiness that's going on, is that nitpicking, what she said, is helping you to get to the light, to do that. It's going to keep on chipping away to it until you're like, okay, you know what? Okay, you got me. This is me. You know, and so it's going to keep on happening to you until you get that, to say, okay,
It
all right, all right, all right. Yes, April.
it is a seeker of the light, right? It is a seeker of cleansing and showing the every shadow. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what's really great about this time, is if you can control your mind, right? Because that's the hardest thing. I just did a whole spiritual warfare workshop that's free on my page, Golden Life Unlimited. Um, and it talks about spiritual warfare and how the mind has been overrun, how we've been conditioned through our body, through our DNA. And so we can recondition ourselves. It just takes control of the mind. And the more you study the heart, which was the person I was talking about earlier, he actually had a machine that would do, I think it was called like heart math or something like that. It would determine the radius and the energy of your heart, because your heart actually
Mm.
has more, like more, it's, they're not, they're similar cells to the brain, but they're not the same exact type of cells. But in terms of
Right.
energetic frequency, the heart has way more than the mind. The mind is a
Yes.
tool, but
Uh-huh.
the heart is more wise and more, the heart wants what the heart wants. So it's a matter of actually connecting there. And when you have these woundings in these other spaces, you kind of you do these weird shiftings and blocking off of certain areas of your heart, and that can come across in ways that, honestly, in this warfare, you get possessed. You turn into you could be a total monster going into a childlike tantrum state, if you will, assuming you're an adult in an adult body, because you're in an adult body. But you still have these wounds where part of you is stuck in that arrested development, where you get to now cultivate your brain and say, it's okay. I'm actually here in this now. It's okay. I didn't hear her say these things. She's clarified. No, she did not say that. But what I heard, what through the experience was, because nobody really knows how hard it is to be a Leo, because we have such a reputation. But it's like, who are you letting me be because of that reputation, right? How
Right.
am I heard? And even though I've spent most of my life being very caring and loving and giving, people have taken that as like I'm trying to do X, Y, and Z. Whatever their core wounding is, I'm so good at finding that shit.
Yeah, you say you the exorcist. Like, I found it. Eureka.
Exactly. It's like I just need a
Yeah.
little nap. a little break from that. But I'm learning how to navigate through that, right? Because it's also a lens. So it's really interesting to come with that because that, if we're co-creating, right? I have to be creating part of that too. So what is it within me that wants to pull that out of people, right? And it's simply because I want them to release their trauma so they can be in the now and experience more love and passion and that and that connection, that familial comfort and safety of being here on earth, right? Which is like the lion's gate. Why
Right.
we're here on earth. What are our hearts telling us?
And just
Yeah.
making sure that you're aligning to it. That's funny you had said I had just watched the movie before going and watching eating dinner, and it was about a young man that liked to kind of he was a player, and he was dating all different types of women and stuff like that. And he went into a relationship, and so he went to the therapist, and the therapist was like, okay, you need to tell me, why are you dating all these other people when you're saying this one person, I forgot what her name is, we'll just name her April. April is the one, she's wifey material. And she's like, she's my every dream, everything I wish for. And then she's like, okay, then she's like, okay, well, what's happening with Kathy D? Well, Kathy D, she's good too. I could come and be down to earth with her, and that, but it's still something missing with her. She's got daddy issues. I'm not talking about Kathy D. I don't remember the character's name, so I'm talking about our Kathy D. I'm just naming folks. Okay, well, what's my Bertina? Okay, well, she's my little senorita, my little hot mama, and I just hit and quit, and that's it. Okay, that ain't me. But that's right. And said, what's the other person? And he named some other lady, and he was like, well, she's very corporate. I know she can get the job done, da 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 da. And she's like, well, who you want to really actually be with? And he's like, I really want to be with April. And she's like, okay, so why aren't you doing that? So she said, you know what? As I'm talking to you, she said, you know what I feel? I feel as if I'm talking to the 5-year-old Marcus. And the one that said, I want to play with everything. And she said, I want to bring you fast forward into the adult Marcus, which really knows what he wants, that's committed to what he wants, and stays with that. And that kind of goes with what you're saying about as far as some of us being stuck. And you don't even know it. And the more he went to therapy, he kind of seen that he in the story. Fast forward about the story, he pretty much had said that he dropped everybody. He made a phone call at that session, and he was like, and he ended up not even being with April because he was like, I gotta get my stuff together because I don't know whatever this 5-year-old Marcus is running the show, and I gotta find some kind of way to grow him up. So that's interesting, like you're saying about that is how you don't know what time frames yourself might be in a child that's operating from that time frame and has not grown up. Maybe I might be talking to April's high school one, and she's stuck in that period where people maybe picked on her, and and she heard different things. I don't know, I don't want to, because I feel like I'm kind of almost channeling a little bit, so I don't want to get into that. So my thing is that you know my thing is you've got to see how you, even like we saying back again, our image is our lion, as this ego. Where who are we showing up as, and where is our foundation when we talk about these childhood wounds? Are we showing up in the world as I even talk about myself, our high school person that was popular, but at the same time did had low self-esteem, didn't think she was smart enough, is going to one of the smartest high schools in there, and downplayed and sabotaged her whole high school year herself because she didn't fall through? I mean, who are we doing as we're going through life, that this is right now, this is the time where we got this portal, and these portals are there to be able for us to step through and say, and now create this new, what you call dimensions or timeline or whatever it is. I feel like I'm seeing a fork in the road, and it's just like, okay, now let's choose differently. Let's leave high school Bertina or high school Divine Sunshine right there at this right here, this fork right here, and let's make a choice. We can continue on with her, with that hurt person, or we can leave it and go to the right and continue on and say, okay, let's break her down and make it new. Because that was funny in the story. His best friend told him, listen here, you're gonna have to make a new. He said, what you mean by that? He's like, you gotta call all them girls, you gotta call Kathy, you gotta call Bertina, you gotta call that. And then if you settle for April, let's stick with April then. And that's what you're gonna have to do. So we've got to do like that character in the movie, which is we've got to make a new. And this is what also the Lions Gate is bringing to us about this stepping into our newness. I did a thing of reading and talk about bold steps and stepping, doing bold steps to go forward for what you actually want. Some of us are seeing, I think we had went through that period, everyone around like July something. I think I had said that about July 25th or July 19th, where we went through this period where it was like a void. And it was like, I think I kind of see where I want to go. And it came a little bit more defined to us up until that point where it's specifically where we needed to actually go. I think now some of us is finding out, hey, where we thought we were going to go, even now we're probably making another correction, they're telling me, or another final edit, or another edit to the edit to the edit. We doing like April with the videos. It's the edit to the edit of our life. And it's like, no, that's not good. Well, okay, all right, then no, that's not good. But we have to get to the point where we are not beating ourselves down if we find ourselves curvy, because this is where we're finding ourselves. We might have to, isn't it saying like you could make so many left turns and you still gonna end up at the same point, or so many right turns? It's some kind of saying like
Yeah.
that. And you, what is it, April? What is
I
it again?
mean, I was just, a hype man. I'm a
Oh,
Leo.
you're hype man. Okay.
Yeah, you four left corners. You gonna be in the circle. You know what I mean?
Right. So whatever, it's a 360, which means you're gonna make a turnaround for where you at. You understand what I'm saying? See, I'm getting deep.
Or
I'm
you
all
end
over
up
the
in the
planet.
same place, right? You end
Right,
up in the same place. Like you're trying to get someplace else, but you just
right,
keep turning around because you're overthinking to the point where you don't do nothing, right?
right.
You
We
push
all up in your cranium. We getting deep on this show, real deep. See, blows your mind, didn't it?
you have to, like, it's cool because you can pull that energy, you can pull that bravery from Leo right now, and you can find out where Leo is in your chart and figure out how you can use that to boost yourself. Like
Right.
everything has its strengths and its weaknesses. And the one thing about um, the lion, though, when it's hurting, it's like, I'm hurting. Like it'll limp away. It'll turn. It'll change in an effort for the survival of the pack. Because it's not just about the self; it's about the survival of the pack. And so we're turning into, yes, healing those childhood wounds, but we're also with this like Aquarian, stepping towards Aquarian. The underlay is like
Yeah, that's
the
what I
betterment
heard.
of everything, right? And so now we're just getting that, we're getting bravery and pushing ourselves beyond our limits. And the key the is to stay in momentum, is to stay consistent, is to know you're doing the right thing, even if it feels like not exactly. I mean, what I'm trying to say by that is, okay, when I started this episode, I was either dropping things or my mic got lost or something happened. And I had to accept that and keep going. I didn't just stop and then say, well, broadcast over, leave studio, I'm over it. you know, you have to fumble a little bit. And then once you start to learn to walk, right? You start with the crawling, you do the little stepping. Well, we've been crawling for a while. So now it's time for us to actually stand up. And we may wobble, but once we start walking and we're remaining consistent, well, then we're running, you know? And it starts to get clearer and clearer for each person for what really makes their heart sing, what makes their heart true. And it really helps when you have that thing to bounce off of. And what I was hearing, and I just remembered, was if you push yourself and you do it, the world won't do it to you. So if you make
Mm.
yourself a little uncomfortable, you won't have to deal with that much uncomfort, if that
Mm-hmm.
makes
I
sense,
see what you're
or
saying.
discomfort. So stepping into doing those bold moves, doing the moving, because we got our girl out there, she moving,
right? She carrying the boxes, but she's also squeezing her abs while she does it, so she can do 2 for 1, right? Because we're multitasking. We are Leo energy multitaskers.
Yeah, that's so funny. And you said that because I had the spirit had brought to me, which is a saying that I've always had said. This energy is also helping us to deal with, and you just had said that I forgot. Leave the drama for your mama, which again is the my guides are saying again that drama aspect linked up into the mom, what you just talked about in the womb and how you're doing that. Some of us have got to learn how to deal with our emotions too. Maybe we have learned also that this source is telling me that too. I said I was going to talk about that. Uh, from our mothers, how to be able, the maternal, or even if you don't have it, I don't know how that would even resonate because sometimes, even if you're not raised by the person, you be funny. It's so interesting how you still have the same little characteristics as the person, even if they're not there physically as the mother. But some of the things that's been learned there emotionally that we've got to learn how to unlearn. They're saying that it's got to be the focus during this time too, as well. So some of us that maybe have issues or challenges with the maternal aspect or whoever raised you as a woman, they could be a mentor or whatever like that. And if it's anything that went a challenge or astray with that, that's something that we've got to understand that drama, like they say, leave the drama for your mama, which means whatever they learn and they try to pass on to you or whatever you're trying to grab that baton and go on, leave that with them because during their time, they're doing the best that they can with what they know. And that's what they knew and that's it. So we've got to understand how to take that information and say, how can I turn it better? Is there some things that I can leave on the plate that say, hey, that works good as a fail safe as far as me, my instincts and how I react or respond to things? Or is it something that you say, you know what, if I keep on responding and doing those things like that, that is unhealthy? And I would say maybe I could use even an example in my life. I think my mom, she does. I told her the other day, you constantly loop on things. You don't let it go. And so that's something I've seen her do. And that's something that I have to kind of deal with emotionally when something gets triggered to me. I can't keep on over talking it in my head and have this conversation like, yeah, and I'm Venus and Serena right in my head back and forth. Yeah, no, and back and forth. It gets crazy, it becomes fatigue. I become fatigued and very drained from that. So that's so another one aspect that I said seeing her do that I seen that I have taken on and adopted for myself, that I see that I've got to leave the drama for my mama. So I don't believe that I'm the only one that's in this. This is something again that some are core, not maybe everybody, but a nice portion of us has got to deal with the way we were raised, or even by my mom even it said by omission. Maybe by omission means to be left out. So that means I don't have to actively say this to you, but you seen by what the things I did as a mother and you as a child seeing me do, you might have innately have picked that up too as well. So that's another aspect that we've got to kind of like go and look at to see about like relationships, connections, how we even in the workplace, how we manifest things, how we deal with money, our relationship with money, finances, all those different kind of things, whatever things that it keeps on doing my ear here, anything that we were relating to or that's in our world that we've seen our mothers deal with, the way they did, it has affected us in a way that we need to kind of really sift through and see what's the good things that I see. Because we see that all the time, even when we're raising our children. And I know that even in the classroom, I say something before I know, I say, oh my God, that's my mom. She just slipped out. So that's a thing that you have to say, you looking around and say, where's Miss Booker? She didn't came in here. So you have to look and see what is it a way that somebody say, "Oh my God, that's Anime Pearl. She didn't came on out," and I didn't even know by my actions, verbally or non-verbally. That had gotten to me too, but you took it to the next level where you was talking about through the womb space too as well. But they said to make sure I circle back and bring that to our attention too. That also too has to be addressed. Hey Eminem, 888, I ain't seen you in a while. How you doing? I can't type on my thing. This my iPad won't let me type, so I gotta talk to you all on that part. So yeah.
I thought that was a booty, girl. That was a butterfly. That is beautiful. I looked at it real close. I was like, those are some cute pants. Oh, that's a butterfly. They would be some cute pants.
Girl, what is your perspective? You sure are on another dimension. You're hearing
Freaky
things
Friday.
You're
Oh,
seeing things
things.
differently.
I'm hearing differently.
Right.
The season, because I was learning the menstrual cycles and the seasons. The season I'm in is the springtime, baby.
Yeah.
So that means
Wow.
ovulation. That means ovulation, spring.
I thought that was something else. Okay, sorry.
For like the whatever day cycle you have, when you're ovulating, when you're on your
Yeah.
cycle, yeah,
Okay. I thought it was
springtime, baby.
wow. And you like, no,
April
that ain't what
showers, spring May flowers. Let's cuddle up in the rain. Anyway, it has been raining off and on randomly here in Hawaii.
Yeah, here too.
So I'm thinking, or I'm thinking,
Mm-hmm.
so what do I feel?
Okay.
Right. And if we can kind of shift it, because we're going to go back into the head come winter months, right? We're going to go back into that spacey, dreamy land and then come back down into like reality. We kind of need to cultivate our essence versus their essence, because there's a big press for us to conform again,
Yeah.
right? And that is not the Leo. The Leo, this is that season of what is it you want to cultivate and bring in for yourself.
Okay.
And getting to the heart of the matter, it's going to be, let's release all that, so that, because trauma typically, I love the way a friend of mine put it. She said, trauma happens when your emotional body or your physical body says, oh, that's overload, I cannot handle. And then there's a traumatic experience that happens. So we are no longer in those traumatic experiences, but our body remembers the traumatic experience. So there's all types of things you can do to release that trauma in the body, so that you can actually be present and experience that thing that reminds you of that trauma or that triggering experience, right? So it's recultivating the trigger so that it's not necessarily triggering you, but opening you to a new space where you can feel more. Like, let's say someone cheated on you and you are potentially going to be with another partner, right? But then you're resistant to being with that partner because this other person had done something to you. If you're in that space where you start to say, hey, I don't know if I'm here, because you're getting an argument, let's say, right? Because you want to push them away, not consciously, right? Hey, I'm starting to hear this, or this is what I hear. Is that what you're saying? This is what I'm feeling. I'm feeling closed off because of this other experience, but what are you actually telling me? Am I safe right now? And, hopefully you're with the right person who can
That's what I
actually
was thinking.
communicate these with you. If they want to continue in the argument, then they have their own trigger little space that they want to be in too, right? Because you co-created that experience and you're directly to people, and you speak the same language, hopefully,
Right.
that you can actually communicate, because it's more than just language of the body. It's more than just pleasure seeking. It's actually growing with and melding with someone, so you can step into that new space. So you can step into those places where you feel vulnerable or naked, or, where you might show a wound, right? And with the right person, they help heal that wound and you get strong. And that's why it's okay to have those failed relationships. You know what I mean? It's okay to have something that falls apart, as long as you learn the lesson, right? And if you're stepping into your twindom, right, and you're stepping into your twin unity, it's not overthinking but allowing yourself to feel, which is very complex because you want to make you tiptoe around it. You're like, I want you to stay. I don't want to affect you. I don't want you to leave. I want to be with you,
Right.
and no matter what, the essence of twin flame energy is like fire. You're going to agitate. You're going to pick at. You're going to find those pieces that need those healings. So have patience with yourself. Have patience with your other. Seriously.
Yes, 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 yes. Most definitely. Yeah. If well, if you can master patience with yourself, you should be able to master patience with other people as well. Most of the time, the same thing you reflect it. If you're impatient with other people, you kind of impatient with yourself. Like, guys, why I didn't do that? I should did that fast. I should did that better than that. And it's just really a reflection. I don't know what's happening to you. It's actually a reflection of what's going on. That
There's like
I
a
found in some
huge
way.
mirroring right now. There's like a huge mirror effect happening right now. Like I'm seeing
Yeah,
mirrors everywhere. It's
everywhere.
really
That's
nuts.
that's been the word of the day. That's why I did on the Divine Unisouls community board, saying about this mirroring and that effect that's going on uh, as well. And how we got to really understand it, that but I liked also who did I get that quote from, and I shared hers, how she was saying that, again, some of this stuff when we're talking about mirroring isn't always about them mirroring us exactly about the fault say it is, and sometimes we got to be able to bring the reflection to that person so they can so we can help them to be able to clearly see themselves about what's going on. So it's not about us reflecting that it's opposition. So I got the right hand up, and so on there the screen looks like my left hand is up, literally. And so understanding that it's a different way of how they're expressing things as well. So that was very interesting. But mirroring is the thing. Mirroring and the word integrity is coming back up again, all over again, and leveling up. I found it because I look for trends. If they keep on mentioning the same thing on different things, or people talk to me in conversation and that stuff, and I was like, okay, there go that leveling up, and bringing the other person with you. So this is something that's going on with us. I guess the matters of the heart, and us also understanding that with us in this connections that we are supposed to be more so of a network for each other, inform us why we're doing all of this mirroring stuff they're bringing to me, is because, again, back to that networking. If I mirror you and we mirror back each other, we should be able to change if we're ready to accept. I know we say we're a free will planet, but again, if we're ready to accept that, and then I look at myself as like, yeah, you know what, I see something in April I didn't like, because I see that she's really reflecting the same thing within me that triggers me. That if I fix myself and April looks at me and say, hey, you know what, after I think, and the conversation we had, yeah, I see what she's talking about, yeah, I need to kind of fix that thing as well. Well, guess what, we both uplifting and leveling up each other by me saying about the triggers and me seeing the triggers in her. So it's a leveling up. And so again, connected, that's where that community comes, that networking and connections, and us being a better version of ourselves, that we should have that ripple effect that people around us, if they are like the Mission Impossible. If you accept this mission, you should be able to level up as well. They're telling me as well, if you don't accept that mission and I'm leveling and you're not leveling up, and you seem like you're not adding to what I'm bringing forth to the table called life, you will be asked to be escorted to say, okay, you got to
Thank
go.
you, because that's exactly what came through on this side, which was, and if it don't work, cut the cord. Because the
Right.
part of the Leo aspect is we're very, very compassionate. But then once we realize that you've been hurting us, or we've been hurting ourselves
Oh,
by interacting with you,
yes.
we just like, nah, you're done.
Right. Oh,
and so
yes.
and so that's the hard part, what happens with the heart, right? Because if you've had enough trauma, you want to just completely shut out and be like, no, everybody's done. But that's not actually a healthy space to come from, because it's not actually looking at the trauma and healing it. It's looking at the trauma and accepting it as a reason to be um, cold, or a reason to not excel. Because you can do as much work as you want and much self care as you want, but if you're doing it to avoid connection,
Right.
then you're not really entering into the heart space, because we're all that heart energy. And when you get heart energy near each other, I mean, we totally fall into that high vibrational energy. Um, okay. So the thing is, instruction, criticism, and a lot, it ain't ready, but I'll try to help uplift. Well, if you say something in a way that helps a person have the idea themselves, right? Like, hey, there's definitely a way that we can stop eating so unhealthily. Let's try this or something. Oh, what would you like to
Mm-mm.
try? That could be a healthy meal, right? That's creating a space for them to say that. What would be a good way to help us not complain today? Or no whining Wednesdays. I heard that from Iana. That
Ayala
that
Van Zant.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
she said that no whining Wednesdays, where you're not
Yeah.
allowed to whine or complain about anything. You're just allowed to be grateful and accept things how they are
Right,
for the
right,
whole
right.
day. And, you know,
What's that?
there's something about Libra energy, because it's very balanced and it constantly wants that betterment, that it can
Mm-hmm.
nitpick. And that can be one of the things that you were talking about earlier, where things are just going back and forth in your brain. How can this be better? How can this be better? How can this be better? Well, I was told in the lodge that the enemy of better, or the enemy of good, is better.
Mm.
And so when you keep aiming to get it better and better and better, you can oversalt the soup, honey. And once it's oversalted, you cannot take that back.
Joe can.
So just enjoying and being in this space, and knowing that it will progressively get better, knowing that you'll progressively evolve, or so on, it'll create what you're looking for.
I like that. Ah, all up in your cranium. No, all up in your head. We in there. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Because once you keep on trying to improve on it, it's a wrap after that. It needs just a little bit of salt. It needs a little more salt. It needs a little more salt. You're like, oh my God, this thing's salty as hell. I got to throw it out. I got to throw this out. But what happened? It was so good when you did it in the beginning. Yeah, right.
Or
And you did.
sometimes you got to eat it salty.
Right.
If you
Put
ain't
some
got nothing.
sugar in it, potato.
What is life's potato? What is your oversalted version of potato?
Put a potato in it. It'll absorb the salt. We still can eat it.
Oh man. Yes,
Oh my
so
God.
that's there's also a part of compassion right now, and caring and slowing down, because we've been going and going and really high pressured, and the heart is like not fatigue, it's just it feels like a universal panic attack, kind of, right? Where, because
Right.
I've been having heart fluttering, and I'm just like, what is this? Or like migraines, where it's like, this is like a lot to take in right now, or something is just like fighting my mind, and it's very interesting, because I've been reading around too, and other people are experiencing it. So I kind of like, oh well, if we're all doing it, it's fine.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So
And so, especially being empathic, I mean, you feeling that it's a state of panic, kind of underlined with what's going on with the different things and conditions and viruses and all that stuff that's out there, and so you can feel that state that's going on, and we're kind of absorbing some of that extra stuff, and so you have to
And
shield
what's
yourself to know.
weird is when I see it being presented to me via media, I'm like, that is just bull. It doesn't make any sense, right? Like, really? But then once you feel the energy of the people, they keep it going. They keep the
Right.
fear body going. And it's just like, why? Why are we doing this to ourselves? And what's the best way? What's the potato for the soup?
Right. That's going
It's
to all that
oversalted.
salt. Right.
It's
Put the
oversalted. I'm
potato.
willing to throw it out, but the other people
Right.
don't want to throw it
No,
out,
it's
right?
still
So
good. It's still good. Just eat around the salt. Just eat around the salt. You're like, why the hell we gonna eat around some damn salt? Just eat around it,
we won't
When you
even notice.
taste
You
it, spit
just
it
if you
out.
just keep eating it, you won't notice the salt at
You won't
all.
notice
Right?
it. Just think of something else. Just think of something else. Just keep on eating the salty soup. Just keep on.
And so I thinking that embodiment is that way to keep the person in alignment with the salt level, basically. So keeping up with your ritual, keeping up with that meditation, with that movement practice, whatever it is that you're doing to allow yourself to stay in your body and not travel off because, well, if I just think of other things and turn the TV on, I won't notice the salt. But it's the salt, it's still there. So how do we actually flesh that out? So I'm going to change the analogy here for a second. Everybody take a deep breath in, kind of allow your body to stretch a little. I like to stretch my wings out, right? It's just hunch my back. And you're going to roll forward and then just roll yourself back and give yourself that spinal treatment, that spinal level. In, the chest expands and out.
All right.
And then rolling forward in and out. We're taking deep breaths and opening and relaxing the spine with spinal roll. So we're breathing in and going up and breathing out and rolling down and rolling through. Allow your kind of lower upper abs to crunch in, your lower abs and scooping forward. And in and then let it out with a sigh. And now go to the left and breathe in and out like a circle. And left and out. And now I'm spinning in a full-on circle. When I go forward, I breathe in. And when I go back, I breathe out. So this is just a simple, gentle heart opening. When you start to feel tension and you start to feel the pressure kind of piercing in at you, come back in your body. Allow your body to have space. Allow your lungs to have space. And allow your muscles and your bones to speak to you. And let the energy start to flow from your heart out. So it goes, right? That's what our hearts are doing. I'm actually beginning to fluff my aura. I'm feeling good. Just copy my movements right now. Just copy. Just do it. You've got this aura around you. Just let it grow. Fluff above the crown. Fluff that heart space. Whew. If you can, reach behind you and then do a little stretch there in your shoulders. Whew. Allow your heart to get big and loving. So now that you've fluffed out this part of your aura, and I just did the top of the body, so if you ever want to do this lower half of your body, you're going to get some real excitement. I don't know. Maybe we should, just for Freaky Friday's sake. I'm feeling a lot of, I've already felt a lot of like sacral chakra light up and root, because my root's attracting, right? We're building, we're calling in that space. Just fluffing the aura out, letting it be acknowledged, knowing it's there.
Oh,
And then you
okay.
surround yourself with that orb or that egg of protection now that you're all set up and your aura hath been fluffed. And that egg appears clear but also thick, and if you look past the veil you can see it's actually silver, gold, and rose gold, and it goes to a violet light, right? And you're just sitting in this beautiful egg And now I want you to envision that egg that's basically from far away like a goldy pink, right? Goldy pink, like a pearl, like a golden kind of pearl. You know, pearl goes from pink to purple, kind of like, you know, that opalescent type of thing. You know, the inside of a shell kind of deal where it has all that shine. That's what you're surrounded with. That loving, multicolored light. Okay. Now, inside of this egg that you're sitting in, I want you to envision the color turquoise, like a thick, rich turquoise, like the color of Bertina's chair. And then your body, it starts to drink in that color turquoise. And now envision the color pink or like a mauve, a nice, rich, fleshy pink. And the whole egg starts to warp, like to like oscillate to that color, and now bring that color, the pink, into the body. And now a rich orange, like a pumpkin orange. And now bring that color into the body. I'm feeling all kinds of tingling on the back of my heart. Like, this is really interesting because I'm actually working with there's the Akashic colors, right? So there's a frequency that all of us are now tapping into and turning on to in this new era, right? And the Akashic seal, this is a nice healing energy. So go ahead and take this energy from your heart and allow it to envelop your whole body. You can come in any color and just make a note what color that is for you. Breathe that in. Allow it to go to the spaces in the body that it needs to. Shake your jaw, allow yourself to stay loose. And come back to that special little shell surrounded by your guardian angels, your ancestors, your spirit guides. And welcome back. Okay. I feel glowy. I feel glowy and I feel ready to play. Who's ready to play? Let's go.
I came to the playground and I was ready to play. Yay! Yes. Oh, that felt good. I felt like I felt myself looking like the young lady on the cover of the book I read to my classroom called Stripes. And it looked like every time you was like put it in there, I felt it just layering up like a rainbow. I ended up looking like a rainbow.
Oh, cool.
Yep, you look like a rainbow. I seen that. I was like, okay, this is neat. So I got all orange and blues, indigo blues, and the turquoise blue and the pink and all those stuff. And I just seen it just layered just throughout my body. It just like a little cutout, and it just had all those. It was just a layer of colors. So yeah,
Everybody, take a second and start tapping. Feel your body. Feel
somebody
your body.
floating.
Yep. Feel your body. Feel this energy is here in the now. You got it. Take this
Thank
because
you.
it's a very healing energy. It's a very floating healing energy. And I'm like, uh-oh, some people aren't back yet. There you go.
Oh,
Who
you
needs a
say
nap?
okay, I'm
She had
back.
done floated away. Somebody go get her.
I was gone. No, yeah. All righty. This is a good place for us to stop, people. We've talked about a lot of good topics. As far as that's why we call it the playground experience. So it's over here. That's why we call it the playground experience, because we get to experience all different types of topics and things, and wherever the energy goes, that's where we flow in this. So don't forget this Sunday. Very excited. It is the 8/8 event. Free, starting at 2 p.m. Central Time. Make sure that you are here. bring your notebooks, bring your yoga mats, because we're going to have yoga too as well. We got a panel discussion, which is going to have Benita is going to be on there. April is going to be talking about, she gave like a little kind of a little opening, letting us know about what we were going to kind of hear about on the family panel discussion. This too, where she talked about family and the mothers and all that stuff. Also, Stephanie Gibbs is going to be on the panel too. She's a family counselor, and so she will be able to give her expertise too, as well as about that. Then we flow into our workshops, which will be led by, starting off with Kathy D, which will do a journal writing activity that's going to lead us into helping us how to rebirth ourselves through journal writing. Then we move into Audrey Simper, who is going to also be she is a social media maven that's going to help us how to rebirth our business. If we're thinking about going on social media like TikTok, YouTube, you name it, she's has that. So she knows the keys because she's coached me too as well about that. Also, we have, who I'm missing. Oh, Angel S. Simmons. I said it right. Is going to come on here talking about how you could be able to rebirth yourself after being in a narcissistic connection too as well. She talked about narcissism last time, so now we talk about after. Like I say, it's morning. It's morning after now, so we're into that energies now as far as moving on, and we've seen it. And then we're going to close out with a yoga extravaganza where we with Miss Jamie Cavens, and she's going to come and close us out with just taking all that good stuff, anchoring it down into our bodies, because that's always good. You get the information, but you also have some body movement too, to be able to anchor and to open up the chakras too as well, so we can really truly absorb all that good stuff that we're getting for the day. So, and let's not forget, we'll have giveaways. Woo! Giveaways too. So a lot of the speakers are giving away. I'm giving away stuff. April's giving away stuff as well. So of services. So we got some big top-notch stuff valued as $500, $250. Everybody pretty much is chipping in and giving what they are giving us for giveaways, donations too, as well. So that is some good stuff. So you don't want to miss that event. Just come prepared. Again, it will be on Divine Unisoul's YouTube channel as well. I will leave that up there. I forgot to open up, but I'll open up the other events so you all can be able. I think they're already open, aren't they not? Anyway, I'll go in there and I'll open it up so it can kind of give us all weekend leading us up to the grand event as well on there for the Divine Unisoul's channel as well. So that is the big thing as far as I want you all to do that. And make sure that in order for you to participate in the giveaways, you got to like or comment. You got to comment on there. So that also helps with the algorithms. That's the way you pay. You exchange spiritual exchange. You make comments, then we'll be able to, again, raise the algorithm so people can find us on the YouTube land. And then at the same time, then we have the giveaways and the good stuff and the information for the workshops and the panels you'll get back in return. I think that's a fair exchange. So again, make sure you're here. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. We're not asking for blood. We're not asking for anything, money. That would be nice. But again, because we believe in you and we know these times here, we want to make sure that you have the things, the principles, the keys, the foundations, what information you need to be able to level up during these times. All right, then, April, is there anything else, something special on your end that you're doing?
I would highly suggest that you check out, if you've got about an hour, to check out my channel. I just put a workshop up there about spiritual warfare. So It will actually give you a lot of information that will help you understand why you are and why the world is where it is, so that you actually can feel safe enough within your own body to now open up your heart to actually accomplish your dreams and your desires that you really want to see manifest. Now's the time for us to really step up into ourselves. So, without further ado, get your sand and shoes out of sand out of your shoes and your pails. Oh, God bless it. Kathy D, we miss you.
Help us, Jesus. No.
Something about sand. We don't want it in certain places.
and leave the place the same way you found, or even better. And it's always what is the thing? And it's always no, that's your thing. Living your best life.
Yeah, that's
Where
hers. That's hers.
living
Living
your
your best
best
life.
life. Okay,
Yeah,
I was
that's
right.
something like
Okay,
that.
yeah,
Yeah, that's her. And
right.
then mine is stay blessed, stay golden, and remember you were made for this golden life.
All right there. And as always, stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascendant. Namaste and namago. All right there. Until next time, we will see you on the Playground Experience Live. But we definitely know we're going to see you Sunday at 2 p.m. Central for a good day, a lovely day of fun, education, and yoga and giveaways. All right, as always, love you all. Mwah. Thank you for listening. Make sure that you click like, share, and subscribe to this channel so they can get all of this good stuff. I can't put the banners on because now I'm on my phone. I don't know what happened to my iPad. They was like, it's just too much information. I can't absorb no more. So that's what happened. All right, then. Till next time. Mwah. Love y'all. All right. See ya.